Now let's do foundation. What? Like, I'm so confused. All my concealers, some of them look the same, but I promise you they're not. They're for different types. They're for different seasons, like winter and stuff. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. And don't forget to subscribe below, smash that like button, and turn your post notification bell on so you can be notified every single time I post a new video. Why not? Today's video is very interesting and the start of something new, cause it's the start of something new. Okay, I think I'm just gonna cut that part out. Yeah, we're starting a little mini series, and yeah, I'm just gonna get into the video and tell you guys more details, so stay tuned. As of right now, I know that I want this mini series to just be focused on breaking down every single step of makeup that I personally do, because I realized that my 10 steps for beginners by a beginner video was very quickened and I didn't really break down each step. I just threw out all the 10 steps that I do. So with this mini series, I really want to like break down each step as much as I possibly can. And yeah, I'm just going to break down any information I think is important regarding these steps. I just really wanted to make a mini series catered to stuff that I wish was on YouTube when I first started doing makeup. So today I'm going to be going in with Pixi's H2O Skin Drink Moisturizer. Okay, so you're just going to use 2 pumps. Always make sure your hands are clean when you're using anything on your face. I'm just going to go on my skin. I did moisturize today. I'm currently deep conditioning, but this is not about hair. This is also a little out of my comfort zone, so like it is fun because I like a challenge. I did have to sit down and like do research for this video, so like I'm excited. Now we're going to move on to the next step, which is primer. When you're using primer, you don't want to go into too much. A little does go a long way, at least for this primer. So this is a good amount. This might be even too much. So what I like to do is sometimes I go like this, and then I just rub the rest into my skin because I know the main focuses that I want are on my cheeks. So once you're doing your makeup for like a while now, like you get to know which areas of your face need the most moisture or love before putting foundation on it. Next step, you could either jump straight into foundation, or if you want to work on some color correcting, you do that before foundation. It's like an optional step. Not everybody has to do it. Sometimes I have to, sometimes I don't. Yeah, this helps, like a sponge helps for if you're like too heavy-handed on makeup. This kind of absorbs some of the makeup as you blend, that way it doesn't look so cakey. And another thing I forgot to mention, if you are using a sponge, make sure you are using a moist or more on the wet side sponge. This helps you to blend in and it does absorb some of the product, again to avoid any cakiness. I am using the Super Stay Maybelline 24-hour foundation. Before I use the foundation, I think we should just get into different types of foundation and how to pick the right foundation for you. Because I personally have just been using any random foundation until like 5 months ago, where I realized like I was not using the right foundation for my skin, and that was not so good. That is also why sometimes my makeup wouldn't last as long, or would just feel like it was sitting on top of my skin and not really like, you know, covering anything. But yeah, I used to use a matte foundation. The problem with that is that matte foundations are better for when you have oily skin. You have oily skin, you want something that goes against those oils, which is matte. Matte just means it's a little bit more drier, like the consistency than like a dewy foundation. I used to use a matte foundation. I personally do not have oily skin. This would just make my makeup look so like weird and flaky, because I do have normal to somewhat dry skin depending on the area of my face. So yeah, matte just didn't do it for me. If you have dry to like very dry skin, you're gonna want to use a foundation that is satin if you have very dry skin, or just dewy, which just means it's more like moisturizing, which goes against like the dryness of your skin. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that Superstay is a dewy foundation. I could look into that for you, but it just does the job for me. I have normal to a little bit of dry skin, as I said before, and yeah, this just does it for me. It does have full coverage, which is hard for me because I used to use foundation that was buildable. So for this, I can easily just get cakey makeup if I put too much. But I've learned to use it and I really like it. It's honestly, I don't think I'm going to change my foundation anytime soon. I have normal to oily skin or just any skin type. If you just want to pick a foundation off the shelf, you can use sheer or natural finishing foundation. So all of these things just mean when you're looking into buying a foundation, just make sure you like quickly Google the finishing that these foundations have. That is just like the basis of it. And the same thing applies to concealers. So again, if you have oily skin, you're gonna want to get a matte concealer or a matte foundation. If you have more of that dry to normal skin, remember you want that satin or dewy foundation. And if you have that combination normal skin, or you just don't really care and you're like, I'll get anything for any skin type, you're going to want to grab that sheer or natural foundation. In terms of coverage, that's a whole other thing. That is, personally, I know that there's rules for it. Like if you have like dry skin, they do recommend for you to get like a medium to high coverage. That's just where your own preference comes into play. And yeah, now we're just going to put the foundation on. I've been talking a lot. I hope this information is helpful because it's things that I personally didn't really know when I first started using makeup. It's more than just about it matching your skin. It's about it matching your skin type. It's about it matching the coverage that you prefer. Okay, so what I like to do with this foundation is I put a pump or two on my hand, and with my finger I put just little dots on my face just because I do like a lighter coverage. I don't like it to be too heavy. It also depends on like if you have a lot to cover. I do think the concealer did a lot of the work for me. Yeah. So I put a bunch of dots on my face and then I go in, I put a little bit on the beauty blender or sponge, and I just start with my chin, closing my mouth, and I blend there first and then I start branching out. Notice I'm not going back to my palm to pick up any product. I'm just using what's on my face and what was already on the sponge because this does a good job of absorbing any excess product. These spots. And also don't forget to blend in your forehead. That is a mistake I made a lot. And then you have some on your palm. If you feel like you need more, this is when you could build up the foundation. Personally, this is when I just stop. And I just blend in a bit. Oops, hiccup. I'll put a little bit on my sponge and I'll just blend a bit on my neck. Just so my neck can match a little bit of my foundation. Some people even go above and put it on their ears. I don't always do that. And yeah, now we're just gonna clean off our palm because we don't want that getting on our clothes. And yeah, another tip I have for like applying foundation is don't rush. Because I personally, like, I'm a dancer, I'm on a dance team, I'm the president of Island Fusion, and sometimes when we have a show, I will just rush my makeup and not blend it correctly. So like if you have the time, go back and just make sure it's all matching. Like, you know, you don't want to have any spots for when you take a picture just like be a different color, you know? Okay, the next step is concealer. So as you can see, I have a bunch of concealers here and it can be overwhelming, but personally, since I've gotten kind of like the groove of when I should be changing my foundation and my concealer, I've realized that I am natural in the summer and I'm light ivory. I know it doesn't look that much different, but I'm light ivory in the winter time. Light ivory is slightly a little lighter than the natural color. So with the concealer, what I like to do is you could do a big triangle under your eye, or recently I started doing just like a couple of lines under it just so it's not super white under my eye, and a few dots. You can honestly play around with concealer as much as you want, as long as you blend it out as much as possible. It doesn't matter how you apply it under your eyes. The concealer is just good for like covering any last minute parts or just brightening any areas that need it. So what I just did is, if you want, you could screenshot this part of the video. I like to put concealer under my eyes. I don't like to put too much, at least in the summer, because I feel like it lightens my face too much. I put like 3 lines, sometimes 2 on my forehead and on my chin. And then I put a line right here on my nose. So basically what concealer is good for, like a good way to remember this, is the same areas you apply your highlight to, or your, you know, baking, like powder, is the same areas you should be putting the concealer for. Okay, because what the concealer does is that it brightens your face, or it covers up any parts of blemishes or anything that the color correcting the foundation or whatever didn't do for you. Now you're just gonna blend it. So basically, since I have a big beauty blender or sponge, the water is still in there. But if you feel like your sponge is getting dry at this point, go back into the sink, wet it, and squish out any excess water. And yeah. So you look up when you're blending under your eyes, just so you don't crease anything. Okay, so I know I look a little silly, like my lips are a little pale, my eyes aren't done, anything else is not done, but for the purpose of this specific video, I'm gonna stop right here. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. In the next video, I'm gonna be picking up right where this is like leaving off. I'm gonna be wearing the same outfit. Like, this is gonna be my face. So if you want to continue with me in the next video, make sure you have this part of your face done. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Today's shout out is someone that has helped me not just on my makeup journey, so I'm still learning, but also like she's just a great friend and person to be around. Her name is Ivy, and she's super supportive. I know you've probably seen her name pop up in the comment section below, and she has shouted me out on Instagram, so it was just perfect to shout her out in this video, not just because she has been following the guidelines to be shouted out, but also because she's an amazing friend. And whenever I do my foundation, I think about Ivy, simply because freshman year of college, quick story time, don't leave me here yet, just listen. Freshman year of college, we were both on the dance team, we both got into the team, and we were rushing to do our makeup, and we were just sitting next to each other doing our makeup in front of the mirror, like on the floor, because I didn't have a hand mirror. We were just like in front of this super tall mirror on the floor, and I put my foundation like directly on my face, and at the time I was using the matte like Fit Me foundation, and it was not my tone. It was like 130. It was not even 230. It was so white. It was so light for my face. Sorry, I misspoke. And she was just staring at me, and I was just like blending away like this cakey excess amount of makeup, and she was just looking at me. She goes, I don't think that's your shade. And this is what I said. I said, no, we're just in bad lighting, just wait till we get on stage. And she like was like, no, I cannot let you leave the room like this. So yeah, Ivy's a real one. If not, all of my pictures would have been like I would have looked like Casper the Friendly Ghost in every single picture, because that was really just not my shade. And yeah, every single time I do my foundation, that moment pops into my head like, wow, I was really using the wrong color, and I was applying it so wrong, especially because at the time it was a matte foundation and I was putting so much, and I already have like normal to dry skin, so it was just like, it was a lot. I'm not gonna bore you with the details, but yeah, I love you so much, Ivy. Thank you so much for being so supportive and an amazing friend. Don't forget to smash that like button and turn your post notification bell on so you can be notified every single time I post a new video. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe below. Come on, you made it this far. Just do it. Like, come on. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in seeing the next steps of this makeup, you know, routine / breakdown of any makeup steps that I personally do, continue watching the next video. It will be up on Friday, and I'll see you all then. Bye!